We have a health update and scrapped plans for Kenny Omega. Also, another AEW star was pulled from Collision. And could a major superstar be making a shock WWE return? It's all in the wrestling news right now. Hello everybody, Jack and Andrew back again with the Wrestling News Part 2. Fightful Select, Andrew, have shared some details on Kenny Omega's health following his diverticulitis diagnosis.
Yes, they say Kenny Omega fell ill before the AEW Collision match with Ethan Page, in Canada, but kept it very close to the vest. Things had worsened by the following week's AEW Dynamite, but Omega still showed up thinking he'd only be working in a backstage capacity. However, he ended up doing that live promo with Chris Jericho. Immediately following Dynamite, Omega sought medical care. On Thursday, he was hospitalized on doctor's orders, and it was determined that Omega had been suffering from diverticulitis. Diverticulitis. There we go.
Nailed it.
Well, we've not been given a timetable for Omega's return, but it was looking like he'd be removed from immediate AEW plans. In addition to Omega likely being out of AEW World's End with a tag team title match with Chris Jericho against Ricky Starks and Big Bill, we're told that there were tentative plans for Omega to wrestle this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite, and those plans are now off.
Understandably so. Fightful Select's report also points out that several backstage at Dynamite on Wednesday said they could tell that Kenny was not feeling his best, but was still trying to get through the show. Major credit to Kenny Omega for,
absolutely,
getting through the show and stuff. Not that I think anybody expected him to have done so.
No.
It seems like that was a decision that he very much tried to undertake himself.
Yeah.
But best wishes to Kenny Omega first and foremost. It sounds very nasty. Diverticulitis is something I've only ever heard about, fortunately, because of wrestling, because of Brock Lesnar.
I mean, it's stomach issues, right?
Yes.
The bowels and the intestines and stuff like that.
Apparently so. And I remember it was like a terrible time for Lesnar when he was going through that.
He's such a trooper, though. I feel like Kenny Omega was obviously, he went away to have all those injuries and stuff, looked at and repaired and everything. After going through a really long period of being champion and stuff and putting on banger matches as well and trying to push through that. And obviously, Kenny Omega seemingly a person, again, who just wants to push through these things and hope that you can get past them and then carry on. It sucks for him because, he was out for a long time before and we don't know how long he's going to be out again now at the moment. Just wish him nothing but the best.
It really does suck as well because he was having some great matches this year. The two matches against Ospreay in particular at Wrestle Kingdom and at Forbidden Door, but also loads of other matches as well. He's the sort of wrestler that you can always rely upon to put on at least a very, very good effort in a match involving him. So it is a massive shame. We know his injury history, of course, but this seems to be something separate from that, and it is nasty news. I feel bad as well as a fan because we criticized on the podcast that segment with Jericho more for the writing of it and the kind of cheesy lines that him and Jericho were throwing out at the heel tag team champions. But I remember us remarking like, oh yeah, you could just tell that Kenny's heart wasn't in it. When really now,
when you've got the context of it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's a real shame, as you say, and hopefully I was about to say hopefully he's back on our screens as soon as possible, but hopefully really he just takes all the time he needs to recover.
I think that's the best sort of thing for Kenny Omega at the moment. He's given us so much, hasn't he? He's a bloody good wrestler. He's given us so much already. Just take all the time you need, bud. But he's my friend.
He's all of our friends.
He's all of our friends.
Speaking of people who are out of action in AEW recently, CJ Perry, formerly Lana in WWE, she missed out on AEW Collision and has shared an update on Twitter saying, please keep me in your prayers. I'm at the ER. The infection from my small finger has gone up my arm. I'm so sorry I had to miss last night and AEW tonight. I look forward to debuting in Mexico with Andrade El Idolo. Good luck, Miro, and my client Andrade on AEW Collision and in the AEW Continental Classic.
It looked pretty gruesome. Like the infection in the finger, and then it's like all travelled up the arm now as well. I hope she gets better soon.
I know, absolutely. Credit to CJ Perry there for keeping kayfabe alive in her tweet as well, saying good luck to my client Andrade, keeping the storyline going. Which she didn't need to do, so fair play to her for that. Yeah,
definitely. And then I think there was a lot of sort of talk on Twitter as well, and within the internet being like, well, where is she for Andrade this evening? Like in his match, and she wasn't there, and then obviously, she's letting people know it's still very much a thing. Don't worry about that. But yeah, she's got some other issues to have looked at. Yeah,
and I hope she's back on our screen soon. Not that I think many of us have found this ongoing storyline with Miro a bit abstract and a bit strange week to week. It doesn't seem to be following too much of a thread, just kind of general themes. But I wouldn't say that's the fault of Miro and CJ as performers. They're acting it well.
I think they're doing a really good job with what they've been given.
For
absolutely,
sure. It's just I'd like it to be a bit more concrete, maybe in the details. But you know, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, she's back on our screens very soon as well. We also have an update on various WWE superstars who've been missing from the on-screen product recently, but not due to injury, Andrew.
Yeah, so Fightful have provided an update with a few of the names, as Jack just mentioned, they're missing from TV at the moment. Dexter Lumis is one, and they say Dexter Lumis hasn't wrestled a match since May. He's not been on the show and hasn't been at many recent tapings. We're told that he isn't injured and is good to go whenever WWE develops creative plans.
In the case of Lumis, and we'll get to the other two names mentioned in a second, but in the case of Lumis, I reckon that I'd be worried about that if it was most other wrestlers. Like, that doesn't seem too good. Hopefully they can find something. But Lumis is the sort of character where I think you can just shove him into a feud with any heel and he can scare them. Like, I think maybe it's not too bad. Maybe they're just waiting for the right window for him.
Maybe they are, especially with the DIY stuff that's happening right now, I guess, as well. Maybe there's just, obviously, it seems like there's no place for him at the moment within the roster. But as you said, yeah, it does feel like you could just put him in there with someone. And I really enjoy his in-ring stuff as well. I think he's great with his in-ring stuff, and then also you got the character stuff too. It's just, maybe it doesn't feel like the right time within WWE. I don't think there's anything necessarily there at the moment that you could just put him into.
There's a lot going on at the minute.
There is. I mean, do you know, and I think the good thing about the Rumble coming up as well is the Rumble is a good place to set up some maybe feuds and storylines within that match itself.
Yeah.
If he turns up there and like eliminates someone or someone eliminates him, then we've got something there that you can maybe work off of.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do see him shortly. Odyssey Jones, an NXT call-up who was drafted to SmackDown, I believe, but then never actually made his on-screen debut for the Blue Brand. He hasn't been on WWE TV, but Fightful do say he has been on the road. They've been told that he'd been pitched for the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley stable at one point, but there's been no development regarding that on screen. However, he did return to the road with WWE, teaming with Cameron Grimes against Theory and Waller on recent live events.
I wonder if they're just waiting for the right time to put him in there to like make as maximum of an impact as possible with someone like Odyssey Jones.
Yes, you definitely don't want to mess up his on-screen big debut. Yeah. And also, like we said, there's so much going on at the minute. Maybe even like the returns of Randy Orton and CM Punk have kind of pushed everything down a step on the pecking order just to make room for those guys at the top of the card temporarily, at least.
I can see that definitely being a thing, especially with the CM Punk stuff as well, which felt so just sudden.
Out of the blue, yeah. Totally. I was about to go, who's the final name, Andrew?
Who's the final name? It's Omos. Fightful Select say Omos has not been used on WWE TV since SummerSlam, when he returned after almost never being used on TV since WrestleMania. Sources in WWE told us they feel like Omos can be used in the attraction role, but there haven't been many creative pitches thrown his way. However, he wrestles semi-regularly on live events, usually against the likes of Akira Tozawa.
I'd like to think, just given the nature of WrestleMania and that sometimes it's the sort of event where we can see a big spectacle match.
Yes.
It's because, especially now it's a 2-day thing, it can't be chock full of like work rate banger matches. You need kind of, attraction matches or curiosity matches.
Palate cleanses a little bit, I guess, as well,
definitely.
You know?
And Omos is absolutely perfect in that role.
Yeah.
His matches with the likes of, his match with Rollins, I really enjoyed.
I want more of that because I genuinely really enjoyed that match.
Yeah, totally.
Them two together. They worked really well together. I think Seth really helped him out a lot, but it's like still kept Omos looking good in that match too.
I think also you could tell in that match that Omos had improved a lot as well.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him come along, at least maybe the Rumble as well, because who's going to eliminate Omos?
There's gonna be a spot, isn't there, where you get Omos eliminating lots and lots of people.
Hopefully.
Someone comes along and eliminates him, and then maybe, we build to another attraction match at WrestleMania.
Final three, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Big Omos.
Oh my
God. Double
God.
Clothesline. Omos is going to WrestleMania, baby.
Yes, who's he going for?
Roman Reigns. He could touch the sign. He could pull it down. He didn't even point it out.
Oh, WrestleMania. That's what you'll say.
In that sort of... I was about to compare him to Andre the Giant, someone who's so big that he's got such presence. Hey, speaking of Andre the Giant, part 3 of our WWE's Golden Age docu-series is on the YouTube channel right now. It's been going up in installments. Big shout out to Sam, Matthew, and Justin, who worked very, very hard on the script and the video for that. And thank you to all for watching it and for the very positive response it's received so far. I believe it's a 4-parter, so there's one more part yet to come.
This week, isn't it? Because it's a week now. It's a new week.
It's a new week.
It is.
Yes, it is. And finally, could a major WWE star be set to make a shock return? Well, sources close to Fight fans, Andrew, say so.
Yes, they say a Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné WWE return is looking possible. They said one of our more tenured sources told us earlier this week that Mercedes Moné. Wait, no, I've got me things wrong. I'm looking.
No, you're not.
I've got my
AEW appears to be
sentences
off the table.
Yes, sorry. One of our more tenured sources told us earlier this week that AEW appeared to pretty much be off the table for Moné, stating Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné returning to WWE, I'm told, is now way more likely than her joining AEW. Not to say it's considered a go right this second, but it is very much something WWE are considering heavily. It's believed that WWE has made a monetary offer to Banks as of writing, but we have not been able to confirm that properly at this time.
Fightful Select also recently reported that all talks between AEW and Mercedes Moné have stopped. The reason we're mentioning AEW so much, and the reason that AEW has been mentioned in these two stories here as well, is because she was affiliated with New Japan, who had this partnership with AEW. She was also seen in the stands at Wembley.
She was, yes.
For All In. Injured. She's been injured recently, of course. But it seemed like they were kind of keeping tabs on her.
Yeah.
But now it seems like those talks have broken down. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see her back in WWE just because things have changed.
I agree as well. I feel like Triple H is someone who would definitely be like, we need to get her back because she's such an attraction.
She's one of his NXT kids.
Yeah, she's one of his NXT kids. You've also got Kairi Sane in WWE now too. Those two obviously have history with the New Japan Women's Championship as well.
Oh, Bayley might need a helping hand if she gets kicked out of Damage Control.
And this is the thing. So we were talking about in the first news video, obviously, unfortunately, about Charlotte Flair's injury. I think eventually the storyline that they might want to tell is the 4 horsewomen against Damage Control.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
That'll be very good.
Bayley
indeed.
gets ousted from there. You bring Becky Lynch in, you get Damage Control, and you get the 4 horsewomen against each other.
We reported in the first news video that unfortunately Charlotte looks to be out for about 9 months.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, that would give her time to be back in time for
War Games, baby!
So yes, that would be very exciting indeed. I think it might be likely as well. Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné is one of those people that I was very shocked when things didn't go better between her and WWE.
Yeah.
Especially after that WrestleMania main event against Bianca Belair, where I think she proved that she was just made for the biggest stage possible.
Absolutely.
She's been in The Mandalorian. She's got breakout potential as a mainstream star. She's been on Hot One. She's done loads of things that WWE would surely enjoy the exposure from.
Yeah.
And yet it just never felt like she was given the full chance that she should have been given.
Yeah.
Given her level of talent.
And I think that's what Triple H probably sees that a little bit more than perhaps what Vince McMahon did, at least anyway, in that sort of thing. Because two different minds, obviously, you know. Vince McMahon feels very much, I guess, sort of stuck in the old ways of thinking.
Well, she's a little tiny lady.
Little, isn't she? We can't be having that.
Come on now. She's not even blonde.
So it feels like Triple H would recognize that a lot more.
Yes.
And definitely push her in the direction that I think we've all been wanting to see her go in for the longest amount of time.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'd hope to see more WrestleMania main events in Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks' future. Yes. Thank you very much for watching this news video. Do check out our earlier news video on this very channel, which dropped earlier today if you haven't already, and leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. I've been Jack, this has been Andrew, and we'll see you very, very soon.